Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Seeds of Success. Hi, Jay. How are you?
Hey, good, Dottie. How are you?
Good. We have a show today that I'm pretty pumped up about because it's something that really gets me up on a soapbox. So
Wow.
I'm going to send it over to you, and you can tell our viewers and our listeners what we're going to be talking about today.
So today we're going to talk about competition. And I think we titled this Let's Compete, right? That was like our little title between the two of us. Well, what you don't know, or you may not know about Dottie, is that she's very competitive. So am I, unfortunately. Competition's built into the DNA of human beings. And most people are competitive, even if it's just at some level. As a matter of fact, if you do one of the personality profiles like Strengths Finders, competitiveness is listed as one of the core strengths of an individual. Unfortunately for me, it's my top strength. And that's also sometimes bad for people who are super competitive because it translates to something else over time. But Dottie's competitive too. As a matter of fact, Dottie, I've got my little win-loss book here and I'm ready to mark down a win in my column because you and I are competing. What you can't see below me is I have a cat sleeping, literally sleeping right here on my table. And Dottie's trying to wake him up, but she's not going to get to wake him up today.
Well,
See,
we'll
Dottie and
just
I are
wait and
competitive on
see.
so many levels. But how can you take competition and use it within your business environment? You may be a competitive owner operator, but I guarantee you have competitive employees that work for you, and you can tap into that competitiveness and really turn it into a business generation tool. Right, Dottie?
Right. There's so many ways that you can leverage competition. And, as you and I talked about not too long ago, competition comes in many forms. So, not
Yeah.
just the traditional competition, what we're thinking about, the serious competition. We've also had a seed previously about the fun competition for those
Right.
people that are less, not maybe as good of a bowler, but they still like that competition part of it. But today, we're taking a little bit different angle at this
So yeah,
because
and I'm going to stop you there for a second because you may be thinking we're talking about bowling being competitive, and we have, but that's not this type of competitiveness. This is the human nature to be competitive, and how can you take that? So go ahead again, sorry.
yes, how can you leverage that to help you get your business to a new level? And so, as you mentioned earlier, Jay, employees, you can really leverage your employees because just like you and I are competitive, I'm sure you have employees on your staff that maybe they're just not stepping up and performing quite the way that you want. And especially today, staffing
Mm.
is a huge issue today, and we're looking for different ways that we can motivate, different ways that we can keep our employees engaged. Have you thought about having a little fun competition?
Look,
Maybe it's to
even
see, how many people you can get to try hyper bowling, or maybe
right,
it's how
or
many
register
the
for your
loyalty club.
most valuable bowlers club. Like there's so many ways to do this. And we see businesses that have traditionally competitive nature employees, like let's say car salesmen, for example. There's always spiffs that are out there, like whoever sells 10, this is going to get this prize. The first person to reach this number of whatever will get something. You can take that competitive nature and bring it into your business, whether you're selling bowling, whether you're selling food and beverage, whatever it may be. And you may have done this sort of thing in the past, but you
Yes.
know that's the expected way. How can you use gamification and competition to get more interaction from your employees? That's another level of it.
And Jay, it does not really depend on what the prize. It's not the prize that they're competing
Yeah,
for. It's that internal desire to be the best. And when
yeah.
you can channel that, and it's a huge motivator. And a lot of people have that, and that's really what we're concentrating on. That's what we're talking about today.
Yeah. Now, Dottie, when you work with your customers and when I work with my customers, let's say on holiday parties, for example, we do a whole module that we work with our virtual marketing manager customers on holiday parties, and what you should be offering, how you should offer it, when you should start, how you should track it. Competitive nature comes into play here because
Yes, it
it's
does.
very easy to say, look, here is the goal. You're going to need to make 10 calls a day to past businesses. And out of those 10, your goal is to book, 2 parties every day or whatever the goal may be. But that's the type of competitive nature we're talking about using to grow the revenue.
And what you'll find, Jay, I ran that particular program myself for many, many years very successfully. And what you'll find is those employees will automatically try to extend their goal. So maybe you set them out as a low, goal of 10 calls, and then the next thing you know, they're starting to compete with themselves. Okay, well, I did 12 calls yesterday. I'm going to do 15 today, and out of those, I'm going to get, so that competition can really be a self-motivator as well for your staff members. And like I said, now most especially to be able to find that and take that energy that's surrounding that and direct it in a way that can help your business is really, really valuable. And Jay, I want to take that one step further.
Okay.
Because as a business owner, or as a manager of a business, to be able to compete is very important, and it can absolutely help you get your business to another level. By that I mean, this is really where my competitiveness comes out, because if I'm going to be associated with something, I want it to be the very best that it can possibly be, and I will push it as hard as I can until that is achieved. When you can do that in your center, and when you can compete to have the most positive reviews, to have the most followers on your Facebook, to have
the most votes for best bowling center, best restaurant, best whatever.
Absolutely.
Those
have
newspapers
the most awards.
Yes. That's important.
And that's
because it showcases your business in a different light too. You're using this level of competition to put yourself up on a pedestal, and then you're going to use that trophy that you've been awarded for to promote your business to future people. So being competitive is not a bad thing. It's how you tap into that competitiveness and what you get from it that is really the best part of it. And you can take it from an employee perspective, an owner-operator employee point of view, but you can also use it on the customer side, right? Oftentimes we'll have a program where the customer that knocks down the most total pins in a month will win a prize. You can do something of that nature. Your FBT, your frequent bowler tracker, easy peasy, easy to do. I can make them sign in with their card, swipe it, add it, however it may be. And then every game they play goes into the pile. I run a report at the end of the month that says, who has the most pins? There's my winner.
That's right.
We do the same thing with hyperbowling. You have your on-lane awards, you have your on-lane statistics, and you can broadcast those leaderboards throughout the building. Why not use that as an example and as a tool to drive more engagement and play with hyperbowling or with other games that you have in your building?
Yeah, and it all goes back to creating an experience, creating that, if we're competing to have the most 5-star reviews, for example, how do you get those 5-star reviews?
You need to be asking for them. They don't just fall out of the sky.
Right, and you need to make sure that your experience is the very best experience.
Correct.
That you can be. So there's a lot of things that go into play with this, and even people like to compete. We used to even do something where you can win a prize if you're the first person to come up and show Texas Quarter, for example.
I call that let's make a deal.
Exactly. That's so much fun. But you'd see women dumping their purse out and have all their stuff spread out because, you know what? I'm going to win that little keychain because I'm going to be the first to show this.
They don't even know what the prize is. They just want to win it because it's
That's right.
It's
not what the prize is. It's the thrill of being the winner. That's really what it all boils down to.
Absolutely. Everybody likes to be a winner for sure. And, you'll be a winner if you can tap into creativity, of course, but competitiveness, and use it to reach your goals within your business, whether it be with your employees, with your customers, with your revenue, with engagement. You can take this any way you want, but don't forget to account for competitiveness when you're planning how you're going to reach those goals.
And Jay, one last thing I want to leave the listeners with is bring the customer or bring the employees along for that journey.
Yeah,
let them know that you're competing. Let them know what you want to do. because
Ask them their input on it. Get their
that's,
buy-in.
that's right. And like I said earlier, with staffing being an issue these days, I really encourage our listeners to think a little bit about what we've talked about today and figure out where you can work this into your business model and how you can leverage competition to grow your business one
happy customer at a time. Oh, wait, you know what I have to write down? Oh, one for me because the cat did not wake up.
Oh, Jay. Well, we'll just have to see about that. This is just the beginning, my friend.
Just
the beginning. Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys tuning in to us today. And until next time, keep growing that business, one happy customer at a time.